President Obama's battle with liberal Democrats over his tax cut deal with Republicans certainly is prompting, if you will, speculation. Angry liberals might mount a primary challenge for the 2012 Democratic presidential nomination. Joining me to talk about what's being, put out there is Jane Hamsher, founder and publisher of the leading progressive blog, FireDogLake.com. Jane, thank you so much for joining us. So you've got Our First Read and others who basically say this will not happen. This is not possible, or probable, I should say. Anything is possible. It's not probable that someone would have a successful run against President Obama in a primary challenge. But what warning shot does this send to this administration? The mere conversation.
And I think that probably is what it's meant to encourage. Just as a matter of policy, I support primary challenges. I think people get better when they have to fight for their seats. But I'm sorry to pour cold water on people's hopes, but a primary challenge to the president for the Democratic nomination is not.
Are people really hoping for this, or is this just background noise, a little knee-jerk anger to this compromise?
Well, in our comments section, we have 100,000 people a day show up on the blogs. And when people are dissatisfied with what's going on in the party, that's what they talk about. I don't think that means that there are people sitting there on the drawing board, okay, how do we get Kucinich in? I'm sure there are people who would like to see that.
Well, but some said, how do you get Russ Feingold in, or how do you get in Howard Dean? And Howard Dean obviously saying, I don't want any parts of this conversation.
Russ Feingold and Howard Dean are not going to do this. It's just not going to happen. But the unhappiness that it signals is something that I think the White House has to deal with.
Measure for me this unhappiness. I mean, the White House and the president are saying, listen, what were the options? I mean, we took the best road that was available. House Democrats waited. They could have certainly acted earlier on these tax cuts. They did not. So the White House, in the 11th inning or whatever sports analogy people are using these days, they had to make a move.
Well, the White House didn't want them to deal with tax cuts earlier, and that's number one. I know that they have said differently, but many members of Congress confirm and are upset that they didn't want them to deal with this before the election because they feel, rightly or wrongly, that if they had that ability to vote for the tax cut extension, that they might have saved some of their seats. I'm not sure that's true. But the White House knows that they've got problems. I mean, privately, I'm hearing that Pete Rouse and the president are privately talking about a major restructuring, a house cleaning in the White House starting after the first of the year. So they know that they've got issues, but right now they've got to tamp down the problem they've got in Congress. Their base isn't even their problem. It's the fact that they've got a lot of feathers to smooth in the Senate and in the House because of the way that they handled this whole tax thing. They didn't tell people it was coming. They just negotiated with McConnell directly. They threw a press conference and didn't bother to brief leadership about it. So they got a lot of angry people. Ultimately, I think that they'll come around and vote for it. I maybe don't think that they should. I think that they will, but I think that's the task that the White House has right now.
All right, Jane, thank you very much. It's always great having you on.